So hello, everybody. For those of you who I haven't met yet, my name is Nadej Mulholland. I'm a programs associate here at the ENVSC, and I manage the Focus Grant. So I am the one who reviews the applications when they come in. So today's session is really all about having an opportunity to really talk about what makes a strong Focus Grant application and how you can plan the most successful project to serve homeless veterans in your own community. So I'm really glad everyone could join us today. I am going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. I have a presentation, so you can just follow along while I go through that. And then, we'll have time at the end as well for questions. Okay, can everyone see the PowerPoint now? The Focus Grant PowerPoint. All right, I haven't heard any no's, so I will assume yes. All right.
Yes,
so the focus, perfect. Thank you, Mary. Okay. So the Focus Grant is part of our Welcome Home program. So that is our series of programs that are designed specifically to serve veterans who are experiencing homelessness. In partnership with the VA, the ENVSC made a pledge to do our part to end veteran homelessness, and the Focus Grant is an important part of that. The Focus Grant is, as you know, available only in the 12 areas of highest need that have been identified by the VA. These are urban areas where the numbers of homeless veterans are highest. And so the lodges that are eligible to apply for a Focus Grant are lodges that are in and surrounding those 12 areas. And I also want to specifically shout out that Phoenix and Tampa, Orlando area lodges are newly eligible to apply this year for the first time. So a little bit about the Focus Grant details. So the funds must be used exclusively to serve homeless veterans and address the unique needs that homeless veterans have. This includes newly housed veterans and those who are at risk of homelessness. We sort of group those into the group of homeless veterans. And this also includes homeless veteran families. Focus grants should be used to fund large-scale ELKS-led projects. And in just a second, I'll talk a little bit more about what I mean by those terms. You can apply for anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000 per grant. Something important to keep in mind is that Focus Grants are competitive. They're awarded on a rolling basis to lodges as they apply, with the goal of equally distributing funding across all 12 of the areas that are eligible. What this means is that this year, with the most eligible lodges that we've had ever before, we're likely going to be capping grants at 5 grants per area. If we get more applications than that from an area, you're still welcome to apply, and we will put lodges on the wait list and pull them off of the wait list as we're able to, depending on how other applications come through. But we really do want to do our best to reach veterans in multiple areas. So that's why we recommend submitting your application early and making sure that the application you submit is really clearly thought through and has a strong plan. The application will be open from April 1st through June 30th. Or perhaps we'll end sooner than that if we have already awarded all of the funding before June 30th. And every lodge that receives a Focus Grant has to submit a final report form, as you're used to with other grants. This grant also requires a mid-year report as well. So that's something to keep in mind. All right. So there are a few specific qualities that we look for in a focus grant project. Because this is a big grant, we have certain special requirements. One is that a focus grant project should be active. What I mean by that is that we look for a plan to directly engage with the veterans that you're serving. So this means that monetary donations and gift cards are not allowed. And of course, we understand that veterans may have material needs that are very important, but merely donating supplies to your community partner isn't something that would qualify for the focus grant. We also look for projects that are ALCS-led. So what that means is that lodge members are planning and executing the project. Partnering with other organizations in your community is always a really great idea and a strong plan for your project. We do want to see projects that are new endeavors. That means a project that is going to be adding something new to for the veterans in your community, rather than just sustaining something that already exists. So we don't want to see applications that are just taking over funding for a project that's already being run right now by somebody else. The third quality that we look for is a project that is large scale. This goes back to the focus grants being a large sum of money. So we look for projects that are cohesive and ongoing. So instead of one-time events, you'll want to be thinking about projects that provide multiple opportunities to connect with veterans throughout the year. We usually suggest 4 opportunities to connect with veterans as a good benchmark. And similarly, you'll want to be thinking about how to partner in a big way with 1 or 2 community partners, rather than planning lots of separate little projects under this one fund with lots of different community partners. And another thing to keep in mind too is that you can always scale your project down. If only one part of your project is active, I would suggest applying for a smaller grant, leaning maybe closer to 5,000 rather than 10,000, so that you can really focus your energy on the portion of your project that allows you to directly connect with veterans. All right. We also always suggest working with a community partner, because community partners have a lot of expertise on what local veterans need in your community, and they can also help connect you with veterans who need your help. Common partners that focus grant lodges often work with include the VA. The VA has lots of facilities across the country, far beyond hospitals. So you could consider partnering with social workers or case managers at your local VA's HUD-VASH department, or with a community resource and referral center, commonly known as a CRRC. Those specifically serve homeless veterans. You can also consider housing facilities run by the VA for formerly homeless veterans. A lot of national nonprofits also have specialized programs that serve veterans experiencing homelessness, including, for example, Volunteers of America, US Vets, Catholic Charities, and the YMCA. And then finally, there are also local organizations to reach out to that are specific to your community, including local veterans shelters and other housing facilities for formerly homeless veterans. Some lodges also ask about working with another lodge in their own area. That is certainly allowable. You're welcome to partner with another lodge. However, it's important to keep in mind that if you choose to work together with another lodge nearby, it's the lodge that submits the application who will be in charge of managing the funds, ensuring that all grant guidelines are followed, and submitting the mid-year report and final report form. If you want to sort of split the funds between those lodges and have each lodge be responsible for their portion of the funding, we would suggest that you consider having each lodge apply for a smaller grant and controlling those funds separately while working together with their community partner. Some lodges find that's an easier way to handle the divide in responsibilities. All right, so I'm excited to talk about some examples of projects that lodges do for focus grants. One example is to buy furniture and home supplies for newly housed veterans. You can stock a food pantry and have volunteers in your lodge sign up for weekly or monthly shifts to run the food pantry or to help out. Some lodges provide quarterly food boxes and teach cooking classes to veterans. You can help veterans practice home management skills, such as budgeting or paying bills online. You can distribute seasonal essentials to veterans living on the street. So this might include hygiene supplies, sunscreen for the summertime, gloves, socks, winter clothing to keep people warm in the colder seasons. You can host regular social outings or events on site at your community partner, such as barbecues, or I think a pancake breakfast was one that was done recently, and I know that was really popular. You can also consider hosting quarterly job support fairs and helping veterans with things like applying for jobs, doing mock interviews, and shopping for work clothes. But what you'll probably notice here is what all of these have in common is that they include regular opportunities for connecting. So that's the big takeaway, is think about how this can be a sustainable, ongoing project where you get to connect with and support veterans throughout the year. Okay, and now we'll talk a little bit more about the application process specifically. So when you submit your application, there are a number of things that you're going to want to really have thought through and talked about with your lodge so that you can submit a really strong application. You will want to be prepared to tell us first the details of your project. This includes how many veterans you plan to serve and how you will address veteran homelessness as part of your project. Tell us which community partner you plan to work with and how you're going to work together. For example, what will the process be for your community partner to refer veterans to your lodge? How will you communicate with your community partner and with the veterans they connect you to? You'll tell us whether you will partner with another lodge nearby and how you will divide responsibilities between the two lodges. How you plan to engage with and directly serve veterans. You'll tell us how your project will make an ongoing difference in the lives of the veterans that you serve. And this is an important one, you'll need to tell us how exactly you will spend the money. We ask for a detailed budget breakdown and a budget narrative that explains how each cost relates to the project needs. As you fill out the application, please keep in mind that many of these questions are multi-part. So you'll want to be sure to read and answer all of them thoroughly. And if that's not the case, if you miss a question, we will follow up for more details, and that can slow down the process potentially. All right, and some things to remember. One thing to keep in mind, be mindful of your lodge's volunteer capacity. And by that, I mean, don't be afraid to start small if this is potentially, a daunting project to take on. You can apply for anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000. $5,000 applications are common and often a good starting point if this is your first time applying for a focus grant. It can be tempting to apply for the full $10,000, but not every project necessarily needs that much to be successful. And you can always scale up next year as you learn what a project of this scale requires. Also, this is a large grant. And while the application looks similar to other grant applications that you've likely completed for the ELKs, it does require a heightened level of detail and planning. You know, if we get an application, especially one for $10,000, and we feel like it's not including enough detail, we will send it back. So be prepared for that. And then the last thing is that to expect feedback. It's common for us to follow up with more questions, and that's not a bad thing. We're here to help, and we really want this feedback to be a resource that can help you make your project even stronger and really hit the ground running. You know, I talk to volunteers across the country all the time who are running similar local projects, and I get to hear lots of ideas and exciting stories about how the grant is going. And I really look forward to the opportunity to share those experiences with you and help you put them to use in your own project. All right, so that is the full overview of the Focus Grant application process. And we can now open up the floor for questions. I'm going to stop sharing my screen 1 second. All right. Did anybody have any questions that they wanted to ask, or anything you want to chime in?
Yes, Nadesh. This is Judy Kearns with Lodge 2406 in Loudoun County.
Hi, Judy.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Quick question. Our grant owner was unable to attend this session today. I am the ENF chairman coordinator, and I do all the grants, and you and I have spoken before. Would it be possible for you to send me a copy of this presentation so that I can send it to our grant owner?
Yes, absolutely. I'd be happy to provide that.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Happy to help with that. And we will also go ahead and post the recording, I believe, to our YouTube page as well, so that people can access that. So, good question.
Nadesh, this is Ellie Jenkins, Lodge 2559, Sun City, Arizona.
Hi, Ellie.
Hi, I have two questions. Number one is, does partnering with another lodge create some sort of an attractive advantage for receipt of the grant when reviewed by national, or is it simply an option that you had mentioned? And the purpose of that question is we have over 3,000 members in our lodge and don't lack resources of folks just very eager to help our veterans in our community. So that's
Good question. Yeah, good question. No, there's no advantage to partnering with another lodge in terms of your likelihood of being awarded a grant. Some lodges already have strong partnerships with and like to work together on things, but no, there's no need to do that necessarily. And if you already have a lot of committed lodge members, then it seems like you have all the resources you need already.
Okay. The second question piggybacks on what you just heard. If you're sending out data, is it different from the email you so kindly provided to me with sample questions previously? Are there changes or anything significant?
Do you mean will there be changes to the questions asked on this year's application?
Correct.
The content of the questions will be the same.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so all of the content of the questions that we'll ask on the application, all of that was covered in today's presentation.
Now, Des, there's a few of us with the hands up. Can you see us, or should we just chime in?
Sorry, I didn't see that. Please chime in. I apologize.
Okay. I'm LaDonna Jemison. I'm with 2697 Moreno Valley, California. I have a couple of questions. First of all, clarity on homeless veterans. We have 3 different locations nearby. We have Veterans Village, we have Camp Anson, we have Loma Linda Veterans Village that we work with. These are formerly homeless veterans, and they were able to get their HUD-VASH credit to move into these facilities. Is this group of veterans not part of the focus of this grant?
Good question. Yes, we consider that to be part of the population of homeless veterans. So veterans who have, were.
You're frozen, unless it's me.
Into
There we go.
living.
Can you repeat that? You cut out a little bit in the middle.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you all hear me okay now?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, there you go again.
What I was saying is that yes, we definitely do consider, hopefully I've turned off my video. Maybe that will make the audio better. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. So yes, we do consider those living arrangements to be part of the population of homeless veterans.
Great. And 2 other questions, and they're very quick. First of all, just like you provided this workshop, do you ever provide workshops on the final reporting process about uploading photos and filling out the narratives? Is that ever made available?
We've never done that before, but that is a good idea. That's something we should maybe consider doing.
Actually, I know time is of the essence as far as final reporting. Most of us have April 19th and April 30th as due dates, but it'd be wonderful to have something put together over the next couple of weeks since we're right in the middle of reporting.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know if we'll be able to pull that together for this year, but I like that idea. Definitely we should consider that. Good
And
suggestion.
my final question is this: if we submit a application for the focus grant and we target the 10,000 and you see that it's got solid validity behind it, do you ever recommend that we tone down the 10 to 5 and give us the 5 instead of what we asked for? Or do you decline it based on the amount that's asked for if we don't have enough support?
Yeah, we always want to work with you to provide the most that you can to the veterans in your area. So yes, certainly, and we think it seems suited to a smaller amount, we would recommend that. So it won't, if you apply for more, it won't prevent you.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
I think we can hear you, but
Yes.
Asda keeps cutting out.
Okay.
Go ahead and ask your question. I think someone else on our team might be able to step in until the dish makes it right back to us. This
Okay.
is Mary Morgan. Hi.
Well, my question is, I'm Jackie from Florida, and I'm the state grants coordinator here. So I try and help all the lodges get the grants. And I know we have Tampa/Orlando and Miami. Do you have a list of lodges that can apply in those surrounding areas?
Yes, we do. We can send you that list. And generally, we want to make sure that our grant funds are going to the cities that the VA has asked us to focus on, which are the 12 cities with the highest number of homeless veterans. We do interpret that a little bit broadly because we have Elks Lodges a lot of times surrounding those areas. So we can send you that list. And then if you think that there's, a lodge, near Tampa that you think should be on the list, let us know because there's a lot of interplay with regions and districts and, what's closer. So.
Right, and I don't want to tell a lodge it's available if you guys aren't going to support it. So I'd like to get that list before I let the lodges know.
Sure, yeah, we can send that to you. If you can throw your email in the chat or email it directly to us, either way, we can get that to you. Every Florida lodge that was eligible also received an email from us about it.
You're a little hard to hear. What did you say?
Every eligible lodge received an email directly from us about applying. In addition, every lodge that is eligible will be able to see the focus grant when they log into their grants dashboard. It'll be an option right there for them starting April 1st.
But still, some of them don't pay attention. I have to tell them over and over again that it's there. So
we appreciate the help.
I'm back. Thank you, Mary, for stepping in. Sorry about that.
No worries.
All right. Any other questions we can answer?
It looks like Carol has a hand up. Carol, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, excuse me. Yes, I'm Carol Liu of Eustis Elks Lodge 1578. And I assume since we received the letter that we must be eligible. I was on the dashboard just yesterday, the day before. I did not really look at it to see if it was there. So Jackie, you might have to tell me. But I was hoping that we might be able to get a copy of your PowerPoint slides because I couldn't write as fast as we went. And I have to hand this over to the project lead. I'm the grant writer, but the project lead has to create the project. So the better I have the information, the better it is for what I have to hand off.
Yeah, absolutely. Be happy to share that with you.
Thank you.
Yes, if you received the email about this presentation today, then your lodge is absolutely eligible. And if you wouldn't mind just putting your information, putting your name and lodge number in the chat, and then we'll be able to make sure to send that information to you.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And the grants dashboard will update on April 1st. So this year it's still showing last year's eligibility. But when we move into the new fiscal year, it will include the new cities. So it'll include all the new eligible lodges for the coming year.
It's Ellie again. Did I hear correctly that we will be receiving copies of this PowerPoint presentation, or was it said we need to request that from you?
Yeah, well, Mary, what do you think is the best way? Should we send it as a follow-up to everyone who received the initial offer, do you think, or?
I think that's a great idea. We can also post it online that everybody can go right to our website and access it there as well.
I thought there might be a YouTube presentation on the elks.com website.
Yes, we will post it on our YouTube page and also on our main website as well at elks.org/vets.
Okay, thank
So
you.
you can look to it. You're welcome. Let's see, anyone else? I think, Jackie, I see your hand is raised, but that may be from before.
Yes, it was from before. I just put my information in the chat window.
Perfect. All right, anyone else? I don't see any raised hands, but feel free to chime in if you've got something to say.
I'm very new to this and I don't know how to even raise my hand.
Oh, no problem.
Can't see you if you did.
I'm Shirley Bingham from Elks Lodge 1912 at Madeira Beach, Florida. We are part of the St. Pete area, and we do have a lot of homeless here. And our lodge did receive the letter, so I don't have an email at this time. Can somebody maybe post it where, or just where should I go to find that information? Will it be on the website for the grants?
So if you go to our website, which is elks.org/vets, VETS, we'll link to it there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi there, this is Mona Perez with Riverside Elks, 643. I have a question. Can you send to everyone that's present on the presentation? Go ahead and send us the actual presentation. What I'd like to do is put it up and screen it, do a screenshot, screen save onto our in our meeting room and let the vets committee see it completely. I don't think there's 2 or 3 of us online right now on this presentation, but I think it's a good idea for all of them to see it so that they can all participate in putting this grant together. So if you can send us a link, I will click on the link and show it to the committee so that we can get everybody working on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish I could send the link in the chat right now. Unfortunately, I can't do that yet since we won't be able to post the video to our YouTube page until it's complete, until the meeting is complete. But we will have that link available on our website. So once that is ready, then yeah, you can screen it and share it with everyone. That sounds perfect. Thanks. Yeah. All right. Anything else? All right. Well, it sounds like that just about covers it. I want to thank all of you for taking the time to join us today. I'm really excited to have the opportunity to start reviewing focus grant applications soon. But please don't hesitate to reach out to our office if any questions come up between now and when you're ready to submit your application, as you're talking with your fellow lodge members and thinking through project ideas.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we will get that link posted on our website ASAP.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nadez.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.